OMG Take 5. Hello, hello. So we have a fun little mini episode today because 2 weeks ago on Friday, I talked about making sure that you understand that we're all coming from a different perspective and we need to put ourselves in someone else's shoes and understand that even though they might be doing something that doesn't make sense to us, it makes sense to them, maybe. And if we can look from a different perspective, sometimes we can tell that. Well, I had a listener named Jill submit an audio talking about that. And I love hearing from you. So I am going to share what she sent and then tell you a little story. Here we go.
So many nuggets from one 5-minute episode. I find that I'm often battling between keeping an open mind and being empathetic and trusting my instincts about a person and the way they're acting or treating me. And that oftentimes, and sometimes it takes a long time, my instincts play out to be true, where I was trying to be empathetic and understanding, and actually my instinct to be turned off by the person in the long run was right. I would love to know your thoughts on that.
So this is really interesting because I am Jill, going to tell you what I think about this. And before we do that, I'm going to tell you a little quick story. So I am a fan of reality competition shows. And I realize this is not highbrow entertainment necessarily, but I love it. I love it all. I love Amazing Race, The Voice. I love Bachelor and Bachelorette. I do draw the line. I don't watch any further dating stuff like Love Island and all, but hey, you do you, right? I love The Challenge. I love Big Brother. Anyway, I was watching The Bachelorette and the recent season on The Bachelorette, and this, I'll explain it even if you're not watching or not a fan. The guy that The Bachelorette ended up picking at the end, I was a fan of. And my daughter, my sister-in-law were texting each other about it. We were a fan. And he seemed very into her, and it seemed like everything was going well, and they got engaged. And then, if you don't know the show, what happens is then they come on live to this After the Final Rose show, and we see them now, where all of this was filmed, a few months prior. Now we see them now. And apparently all kinds of crazy stuff had happened and they had broken up, and he really was portrayed at least to be really a jerk and never having meant anything that he said to her on the show and all of this. And I know that maybe people go on these shows for just fame or something, but I really believed him. And what that means is I got snookered. Is that the word? Basically, like I really believed him. And in my little chat group, all of the women were saying, wow, we really believed him. What happened? And my husband said, I never liked him for a second. I never thought he was there for the right reason. Now, my husband just watches this to hang out with me and because I watch it, but he had seen enough that he said, I never believed it for a second. And so that took us into a whole conversation about, is there something different about men's intuition regarding other men and their reasons for doing things? Is it because we were women that we couldn't see through him? And that's a little scary. Is this why we don't see through guys who maybe don't have the right intentions or good intentions? Just such an interesting discussion. So I think my response to you, Jill, is there's not always an easy answer. We know that, right? There's not always an easy answer. However, the cool thing is if you are having a gut feeling about someone, and you said this in your audio, if you are having just this instinct about something's not right, or I don't know if they're genuine, something's going on, almost always that gut feeling is what you want to pay attention to. I am an empath, an empathetic person. We're all empathetic people to a certain extent. We want to be nice. We want to be kind. And I'm not saying not to be kind. I'm saying let your intuition, your instinct, your gut feeling be number one. and then your empathy and your want to help people come after that. Because sometimes we're even dealing with safety here. Hopefully, it's not that severe a situation, and you're simply wanting to be around people who are the people you would want to be around and wanting to work with people who are the people you would want to work with. So trust your instinct. And if you have a comment about this, I would love to hear. Go to bit.ly, bit.ly/OMG speak to me. The link's in the show notes. And give me an audio. Tell us what you think about this. We'll come back on another Friday and talk about it some more. Have a great one.